Welcome back, Gold Rush gamers. It's me, Rob, here, playing Gold Rush again. I'm still on the same one. I decided to move my operation down, though. I went and cashed in some gold after I started hog panning. I got a whole lot more out of the mats, so I decided to put 2 hog pans down here where you originally have them after you put in your big mine, your sluices and your shaker or your D-rock or whichever one you so choose. Once you get your big wash plant set up, you'll have 2 duplex jigs down here, and you'll have a hog pan following each one of them. Of course, you still need to run water through them, so I figured I might as well get them all set up because I have not taken out a loan, and I don't think I'm going to on this game. So as we go through this tutorial, let me learn how to speak, and kind of show you how I do things, and then you can change them and hopefully improve on them and do them better than me. I've gotten 13 buckets. I've gotten 2 more hog pans, and I've gotten the hog pans with pump, so we can hook them up to a water pump, which I hooked them up to a water pump here. And then I've still got the original hog pan over where the hog pan site is. I'll just leave that there because you can put a worker on there, so you leave that there, just a regular hog pan, no pump. So we've got our water pump here set up. We got the 2 hoses coming out here. I know they're kind of backwards for you techie people. They should be on the out and they're on the in, but it still creates pressure, so don't worry about it. You can fill this and the buckets with the hoses. So instead of having to dip and run over here and dip it down into the creek now, we can just fill it right off of one of the hoses. We'll just disconnect it from the back of the hog pan and just fill the bucket. So you notice here the one hose isn't long enough, so I put an extension here. I put the coupler, and then I put another hose in. So I've got this hose. I'm going to show you how I've ran it back. So I've ran it back here pretty taut. It's kind of a trick. You run back and then you kind of pull on it to wind it up, and it pulls it straight. But you see there with the screen on the end, the hose, I have dropped it down into the creek, right behind our gold recovery tent, right in front of our trailer, where that is where you go to sleep. If you want to sleep until dawn or just an hour, you can. If not, just go back and keep going. I usually only sleep when it's dark at first, and then once I can afford to get a generator and some lights, I usually just work through the night. So now I'm going to go ahead and fire this sucker up. You just pull on the cord and voila, and now we've got water going through our hog pans, and I'm going to sit here and keep filling them with dirt. I think I might have lost a little bit on that one because I filled it up a little early, but what I'll do is I'll just keep going back and forth here to kind of keep them going. Just kind of dumping behind me. Just try to keep up with the water flow going through them, which I think I'm going to get outran here, but that's alright as long as we can keep dirt going in them. See how many 13 buckets. I actually filled them up with 3 buckets, and then I filled the buckets full again, so all 13 of them were up here full of dirt. Now, the only reason why I'm doing that is so that way I can continue to run the pump and keep water going through them as dirt's going through them. That way I'm not having to kick the pump on and off and run back and forth with 2 buckets or 3 buckets or however many buckets, and just kind of keep them somewhat going if I can. Watch the bucket fly. Where it goes, nobody knows. Over there. So now I just kind of walk through here. Come over here, I'll let that finish out. Looks like it got me 65% in one and 58 in the other. Now I'm just going to go ahead and shut it off. You just push the button in front, the one that says switch, and you shut it off. And I'm just going to run back out here and kind of set the buckets up and do it all over again. But I figured I'd show you guys what I'm doing. Kind of run down here and get the scoop going. I really hate to rush things, but I'll probably just move over to my main one here and kind of show you what the wash plant looks like all set up and all that fun stuff, so that way you guys can keep going if I don't have another tutorial out if you watch this one. And then that way you don't have to wait for me just to kind of keep going with this game, because what I'm going to do is, like I said at the beginning, I'm going to just run this one without taking a loan. So I'm going to see how much gold I end up with out of doing this. It's kind of hard to set these buckets down because you throw them on the ground and you really don't want to crouch every time you go to set a bucket down. It's kind of a waste of time. Like I said, I wish I could stack them and carry them all out and then just kind of set them up. You know, that might be something that will come later on down the road in the game. You just never know what the programmers are going to add. I think they're working on the bigger and better stuff first, which is fine with me. It sure would be nice to carry 5 of these at a time and 2 when full. Just save on time. However, it is just a gold mining game, and I guess it really doesn't matter, because you end up collecting gold faster in this game than you do in real life. So I guess you just gotta kind of slow it down a little bit. And I figure you probably don't want to watch me continue to fill up buckets and run it back and forth, because I'm sure at this stage in the game you've probably figured out how to fill up buckets and pick them up and set them down. So I'm not gonna bore you to death with theatrics. I just kind of wanted to get on. My last tutorial was about an hour long. I'm gonna try to keep them at about 15 minutes and just kind of go over things with you. Briefly just touch base every one. So if you did miss the first one and you're just starting to watch this one, I'll kind of touch base with where I started. So you start in town, you've got the truck, you've got $224 in your bank. So what I did was I bought this setup here, this hog pan, the extension. Actually, yeah, basically bought all that. I believe I took out a little bit of a loan to get everything going and get them down here. So I guess I can't say I'm totally going without a loan, because I think I did take out one. Or maybe I didn't. No, I remember what I did on this one. I've started 4 games. Sorry, folks. Bear with me. What I did was I just come down here with the bucket. And I think I had this, and then I panned out a couple of nuggets with a couple of bucketfuls of dirt. And then I made a couple $100, went back into town and bought the rest of this setup here. I know I keep running back and forth, you're probably dizzy by now. Set this up with the mats over here. I took the mats out of here because I really don't need to be there to put a worker on there. So I took the mats out of here to put them down at that other one. This is where I started digging. I'm not going to sit here and dig up here all the time. I think there's actually better gold here in the cut, and if I remember right from my drill pattern, on my last game, which I'll show you here in a second, that the gold is actually pretty good kind of right in here. It's minimal around the edges of the claim, but I think right through here it's fairly thick. So you get some decent gold all through here when you're digging out. And this is where the claim goes back to. I'm going to take you back here and show you this, because I thought this was actually pretty cool. Let's see if I can remember how to get back through here through the brush. I don't know if I can. I might have to go all the way around. Okay, yeah, I found the trail here. Now if I can get down it. Sure, I'm glad I don't get stuck like this in real life. So you just climb up this ladder here. Check it out. There's your claim. Well, rented the claim for now anyways. When you can purchase it, it will be yours. So, looks like Jack and Todd Hoffman have been here digging around, because there's just kind of holes everywhere, and then there's a pile right there, right in the middle of nowhere. That looks like a Todd and Jack Hoffman job from season 1. I know they've gotten better, but I just had to say that because it is kind of funny that it appears that way. So yeah, that's the claim that we started on. You can kind of run all the way back through here and check everything out. What I've done on my other game is I've come all the way back here with the dozer and just kind of pushed all this down smooth and pushed it down towards over here, because I've actually cut down to about this level all through here, and then just kind of cut it out. You'll see. cut it out, and then I come in and out over here at the very end. I'm going to leave that piece for last. I'm just going to dig out all the dirt. I've gotten about $4 million worth of gold so far, and I'm only about halfway done, I'd say. So you could actually do pretty good. So I'm trying to start this one without taking a loan so I don't lose a whole lot of money to interest in the bank. So see how much better I do. Of course, every game is different. I know that my brother-in-law has been playing, and his stock seems to average higher than mine does. I don't know if my computer hates me or what the dealio is, but we checked his stock the other day and it was like up at 1274. I've never had it go up to 1274. You might, which would be awesome if you do, and I hope it does for you. That would be neater than Skeeter's Peter. But it is what it is. If I can only get $12.30 an ounce, then I'll do it when I'm up if I can. I've got a gold bar sitting on the table just kind of waiting for that. So I'm going to save this game. And this is my new save number 2. It's this one here, so I'm going to highlight that and click save. I really don't want to save over my other games on accident. So I'm always kind of careful with that, because this one here I would really hate to lose it as far as I've gotten in it. So I'm going to go back here, because now you need to go to the main menu in order to come back into a loaded game. So I'm going to go in here and load a game. We're going to go to the new save. We are going to load this game up. I'm going to open it and just kind of show you around my farthest cut that I've got. Would be much farther than this if I hadn't just screwed up on the autosave dealio. So note to self, always save your game under a new save if you're going to start a new one, because the autosave will save over the original autosave and you could lose your game. That's always good information to know. I'll probably repeat that over and over and over again in all of my other videos. The way I figure I do that, it will help me remember it, and it will help you remember it. And you practice it. It's about 5:30 in the morning here. Notice how I have my dump truck parked here. I have basically the hopper feeder there. They call it the conveyor feeder. And then the conveyor there, just a bunch of buckets. I have gone with a D-rocker, even though you notice that the shaker is over there. The reason why I have a shaker and a D-rocker on this claim is the shaker you can put a worker on. The D-rocker, for some odd reason, you can't. Hope they fix that soon. I'll probably go ahead and leave that on there so I can leave a worker anyways, so I can have more workers here. But this is kind of my setup here. I've got the work lights here. This one I have pointing out towards the claim so I can see at night, and then this one I have pointed over to here. That one up on the hill I have pointed out this way, so it kind of shines all over the place. But you notice here I have my hog pans. I have my duplex jigs, my sluices with the miner's moss and the screens in them. Buckets underneath my duplex jigs, and of course these to capture the remaining that comes out. I have my gem plant here, my trommel here, all plugged in nice and neat, good to go. This is how I set mine up. You are welcome to set yours up any way you want. There's where your water goes in the D-rocker, there's where your power goes. Then you'll have power to these two items here, that one and that one. And then you have your gen plant, which is right here. And I put my pump here. I'm going to go ahead and fill it up with fuel while I'm standing here talking. I just put my water pump here because then that way I can come up here, I kick it on after I dump in there. That'll hold, the dump truck at 100% will fill that to about 88%. So I always fill one, then I go back and get another one, then I come over here, I'll kick the water pump on. Then I'll hop in here, I'll hit the duplex jigs. I love how it labels them for you so you know which one's which. Then of course I turn on the trommel, then the D-rocker, then the conveyor belt, then the conveyor belt container. And then the only time I hit this power splitter, because I've only got lights plugged into that and the work lights, is at night so I can see. And then yeah, I'll just leave the gen plant on and leave it running. It's all good though, it lasts quite a while. It actually stays full of fuel. So this, notice we're at 91%. I just fueled it up, went in at midnight. Of course I ordered, then I filled this tank. I need to remember to fill this tank, fill everything up, fill this tank full again, then order. So I'm 100% everything, but it doesn't matter because you just always buy more fuel. There's the small excavator. I've got the big excavator parked out in the cut with a loader. The loader is probably the fastest way to load the dump truck. You notice I'm quite a ways back in the cut there. And I've taken the dozer and I've ran out through here. You see my drill holes. I've ran the dozer out through here, cut down and cut all this level down. You're going to need the excavator to get this stuff close to the wall because you notice how this jogs out. So this is the original level up here. And all the rough dirt that you can't dig is right here. So I've kind of knocked that down in a step pattern, you notice. I've kind of smoothed this all out here, push it all down this way. Now I'm just going to work myself around the outer edges of the cut with the excavator and the dump truck and the loader. Hit my previous key and see which vehicle that puts me into. It puts me in the dozer. Now I'm in the truck. I'm going to get out of the truck because it's over here. And now I'm back over here by my cut. That's the easiest way around the cut. Just use your bracket keys. I want to go ahead and back out of this game. I don't think I'm going to save it because I don't want the extra time on there. I like to kind of make use of my time, so I always try to keep going. You know, so I'm only in day 47 on this one. I've got all this fun stuff. I'm going to see if I can beat that on the other one. So there you have it, folks. Looks like I'm about 16 minutes into this tutorial, which is probably what I'll try to keep them at, 16, 17 minutes, so I don't lose your interest. So I also don't bore you to death. I don't need to show you how to fill buckets with dirt and how to pull screens out and run them through the bucket. I'm sure you figured that out by watching my first one, and if you haven't seen my first one and you see this one and you are confused on how to clean the mats out in the bucket of water, then just go try to find the first tutorial and have a look-see, and it will show you there. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep them short, sweet, and simple for you. If you have any questions, comments, or any suggestions, just go ahead and leave them there in the comment section. Please subscribe to my page if you watch this. If you like it, if you find it interesting. If you don't find it interesting, please let me know what I can do to change it up. Alright, gamers, have a blast. Capture some gold.